So today, we're jumping into LiDAR. That laser tech that's supposed to help cars see. Well, it's right smack in the middle of this huge debate about how we're actually going to build a self-driving car that works.
Yeah, really think about that for a second. How do you build eyes for a robot? This isn't just some engineering puzzle. It's a massive challenge. We're talking billions of dollars, the smartest people on the planet all trying to replicate something we take for granted every single day, our own eyesight.
You've definitely seen these cars driving around, right? With that kind of weird spinning thing on the roof. Well, what they're doing is trying to cram millions of years of human evolution into a computer chip. The ability to see, to understand, and to react instantly, man, that is an incredibly, unbelievably hard problem to solve. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. Because it's so hard, the industry has basically split into two camps. It's a real debate, almost a philosophical one, about the best way to do this. Should we teach a car to see like us, like a human? Or should we give it superpowers? All right, so you've got two big ideas. In one corner, you have the camera-first camp. Their whole bet is, look, humans drive with two eyes, right? So a car should be able to do it too if you just give it enough cameras and a really, really smart AI. But then in the other corner, you have these sensor fusion folks. They're saying, no way, cameras aren't enough. They think that to be truly safe, you need something more, something like LiDAR that doesn't just guess what's out there. It actually measures it, creating a perfect 3D map. And let's be real, the camera-only approach has had some pretty tough, very public moments. There have been well-documented cases, failing to see a white truck against a bright, sunny sky, or even running into stationary objects like fire trucks. It just goes to show how incredibly difficult it is to rely only on interpreting a picture of the world.
So that really brings us to the main event. If cameras have these, let's call them blind spots, what exactly does LiDAR bring to the table? If a camera is trying to be a human eye, LiDAR is basically trying to be a bat's echolocation, but with lasers. So, how does a superpower actually work?
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how LiDAR actually works. It might sound super complex, but the basic idea is actually, pretty straightforward. Okay, so the whole secret sauce is a principle called time of flight. Seriously, just think of a bat. It sends out a little squeak and listens for the echo. LiDAR does the exact same thing, but instead of sound, it sends out an invisible pulse of laser light. And it has a super precise stopwatch to time how long it takes for that light to hit something and bounce back. So the journey of one little laser pulse looks like this. The system shoots out the laser. Boom. The pulse flies out, hits an object, say a car in front of you, and then reflects back. A sensor catches that returning light, and the system instantly knows the round-trip time. It's that simple. And that tiny measurement of time, that's the whole game. And here's the beautiful, simple math that makes it all work. The distance to the object is just the speed of light, which we know is constant, times the time it took for the trip. Oh, and you got to divide by 2, right? Because the light went there and back. It's basic physics, but when you apply it like this, it's honestly kind of magical. But get this. To really appreciate what's happening, look at that number. 0.0000006 seconds. That's the time it takes for a laser to go a full kilometer and back. I mean, that's insane. To measure that, you need electronics that are just mind-bogglingly fast. Counting in the gigahertz range, we're talking billions of calculations every single second. This isn't some future tech. This is what's inside these sensors right now.
Okay, so that's the how, but what's the what? Let's crack open one of these sensors and see what's actually making all this magic happen.
Think of what's inside the LiDAR as a tiny, super fast factory. You've got the emitters over here, firing off the lasers. Then the receivers catch the light as it bounces back. A central chip acts like the factory foreman, taking all those signals, converting them from analog to digital, and then some software cleans it all up to give you one perfect measurement. And it does this millions of times a second to build that 3D map.
Okay, now this is where it gets really wild. For LiDAR to see things far away, it has to be sensitive enough to detect a single photon, a single particle of light. So how does it do that? Well, that one little photon hits the detector and basically knocks one electron loose. An electric field then grabs that electron and slams it into other atoms, which knocks more electrons loose. And they slam into other atoms, and you get this massive chain reaction, this electron avalanche. It's how you turn one tiny, invisible photon into a big electrical signal that the system can actually read. It's incredible.
So getting one point of data is cool, but to make a map, you need to scan that laser all over the place. And how you do that scanning? Well, that's the next big fork in the road for LiDAR tech. So for a long time, we had the old guard, mechanical LiDAR. That's the spinning bucket you're used to seeing on self-driving cars. It physically spins a mirror around to get that 360-degree view. But now, here comes the new challenger, solid-state LiDAR. No moving parts at all. It steers the laser beam electronically. And because of that, it's way smaller, way tougher, and, this is the big one, way cheaper. And that's exactly why everyone's so excited about solid state. It's the future. Because they're cheap and small, you can hide them in the car's bumper or grille instead of having that big thing on the roof. Plus, no moving parts means nothing to break or wear out, which is absolutely crucial if you're going to put this in millions of cars. Now, it's not all perfect. There are still some hurdles. A big one is the field of view. Most solid-state sensors can only see a slice of the world, maybe 120 degrees. So if you want that full 360-degree coverage, you've got to use a few of them. And engineers are still working like crazy to get the same kind of long-range vision that you get from the bigger mechanical ones. So let's pull back for a second. We've got cameras versus lasers. We've even got lasers versus other lasers. So what's the answer? What is the future of how a car sees the world actually going to look like? Okay, let's look at the whole sensor team. First up, you've got cameras. They're amazing at figuring things out, right? They can read a stop sign, see the color of a traffic light, but in fog or at night, not so great. Then you have radar. Radar is your all-star player in bad weather. It doesn't care about fog or rain, but its vision is kind of blurry, low resolution. And then there's LiDAR, the star player for creating those perfect 3D maps. But it's traditionally been pricey and can get tripped up by really bad weather too. See where this is going? The solution isn't to pick one sensor and declare it the winner. The real solution is to make them work together. It's a concept called sensor fusion. You take the camera's ability to read signs, add radar's all-weather vision, and combine it with LiDAR's precise 3D mapping. Each one covers for the other's weaknesses. And together, they create a picture of the world that's way, way more reliable than any one of them could ever be alone. And really, that's the bottom line here. The whole camera versus LiDAR debate, it's kind of the wrong question. The real takeaway is that to even get close to what our own eyes and brain can do, a car can't just have one kind of vision. It needs a whole team of different senses, all working together, to create a truly safe and complete picture of the road ahead.